Let's discuss the issue of the EU, the Eurozone, stuttering economies and people ultimately taking their lives when it all becomes a bit too much to bear. We were reporting earlier on RT about a Frenchman who set himself on fire outside a job centre in the town of Nantes. Let's get some more on this now from a sociology and a philosophy lecturer at the University of the Aegean, Panagiotis Sotiris, now joining us live here on RT. As you were hearing me say just a moment ago, sir, thanks for coming on, but I was talking about this poor Frenchman who set himself on fire. Now, we understand that the unemployment rates in France are currently at 13-year highs. Is the man's action symbolic of the frustration the people there are feeling?
Well, it is symbolic of the situation all over the Eurozone. And I think that people in Europe are realizing that what has been happening in the European South, and especially Greece, in the past 2 or 3 years has not been an exception. It is going to be the rule all over Europe. Greek social situation currently is very close to a social disaster. For example, our unemployment rate in Greece currently is 27%. These are rates of unemployment that Europe has not seen since the 1930s. And I think that more countries are also going to follow in this path. And suicides of this kind is just an expression of an acute social crisis. Greece has already experienced a rise in suicides in the past years.
You talk about Greece. I mean, certainly it was maybe a year and a half ago. I remember the story of a man shooting himself on the steps of Parliament in Athens, showing his grief with the ongoing financial situation. You mentioned Greece. My numbers here: more than 60% of the country's youth are unemployed. How can Greece turn it around? What do you think? What do you think of the prospects, even? Because, as we know, they've been dealing with severe austerity for quite some time now.
Well, if we continue along the path chosen until now by the European Union and the International Monetary Fund, namely the path of austerity and even more wage cuts, budget cuts, we're just going to see more deterioration of the social situation in Greece. We are trapped inside a vicious circle of austerity and recession, and with the current policies, there's no way out of it. And I think that this image of stability projected by the European Union or the IMF, in the sense that, okay, Greece is doing well, is not real.
You talk about that. I'm sorry to jump in, but you talk about this because, as you say, there are some EU leaders that are suggesting that the entire continent is emerging from the euro crisis. I mean, could you just explain for us what exactly are these claims based upon?
Well, I think that they have to explain what they are based upon, because in reality, the Eurozone is officially in a recession. The debt crisis is not going to be resolved through austerity measures. I mean, Greece, they are projecting that we will reach in 2012 or 2013 the levels of debt that we had when they announced that we were in a very serious and dramatic debt situation. So there's nothing positive, no positive signs, unless, of course, they manage to starve a society, to impose levels of poverty unseen before. Of course, if Greece somehow, the Greek people, manage to, let's say, survive on average wages of 200 or 300 euros per month, then yes, maybe there might be some sort of balance in budget, in the economy. But the social situation is going to be a complete catastrophe. So I don't think there's any actual exit from the crisis of the Eurozone unless there is a serious change in policies.
All right, a social analyst and philosophy lecturer at the University of the Aegean, Panagiotis Sotiris, thank you very much for coming on RT today.